Good afternoon, everybody. So somebody requested recently for me to do like a follow-up video to the upgrades to the Savage Msr10, and so they wanted to know about accuracy, and so here's like one of the targets where I did some load development on. We can have a little bit of a discussion here. So one of the reasons why I pulled the barrel and switched it was I would get like 5 shots that are really close, and then I would start getting some dispersion after the barrel would heat up. So I mean, that's still really good accuracy and everything, which is perfectly fine. So like if you were doing some cold board shots, you know, shooting 5 and letting her cool down, she'd shoot good. And so like I think, you know, right here was like I think there's 10 shots here, you know, and it started to walk up and get some dispersion that way. And that was with using the Eric Cortina muzzle brake that you could adjust to a barrel tuner. So that definitely helped with everything, but it just the barrel needed some help. But I think, what is that? That's a 1/2 inch, 0.49. So like I said, the barrel shot really good. In my other video, when I posted some stuff, you know, it had the potential to shoot really, really good. Here's 20 shots, you know, and I started to get some dispersion, and those were a couple groups of 10, and so that's like 1.2 inches roughly. Yeah, 1.26. So I mean, that's really good, you know. So like if you bought a Savage Msr10 and you're just looking to do some plinking with your buddies and stuff like that, most of the time this thing's going to shoot really, really good. And so I really wouldn't hesitate to purchase one for going hunting. I would trust it for that. It shot good, you know. So I mean, it's just if you start getting a little bit above an inch on PRS, a lot of our targets are you know, within an MOA size, but it does run into periods of time where on a KYL that would be an issue and stuff. So I pulled the barrel and I put a what do you want to call it? It was a Proof Research. They're not their carbon fiber, but it was a stainless steel one. And so I had to do some load development on that, and here's a target for that. As you can see, I was getting some vertical dispersion here, and so I made some adjustments and shot a group down here, and then made some additional adjustments and shot a group right here. And as you can see, that had very little dispersion once I got seating depth played with, and then I used the barrel tuner to make a few additional adjustments. And you know, it was shooting 20 shots here into under an inch, just under an inch, so 0.88. So that's really good. I mean, I was shooting 5-shot groups into like 3/8 of an inch quite often. So here's a little update on that. But the Savage isn't going to stay very much longer with us. There's just a few things that I couldn't overcome in terms of liking, and that's this rifle right here. So that's the Savage. As you can see, it doesn't quite look the same, and the reason is I tore all the parts off of it and getting ready to let her go. But one of the issues that I ran into is that you couldn't use PMags and have the last round bolt hold open happen, and with PRS that was kind of a pain. And then so by switching over to, I can grab the mags and have a discussion there. So here's a P mag with a Terran Tactical +5 on it. I really like adding these on there just because it's extra weight, drops free. But this is a Lancer mag with a Sergeant of Arms +2. This is 3D printed. It's held up just fine, to be honest with you. I haven't had any issues with it. It actually works really good. So it would hold open on this, but you couldn't release the mag closed on it. So do I have dummy rounds sitting up here? Yeah, we'll just. So this is an empty piece of brass. Okay, it's once fired. So when you would load a round in there and you wanted to close the bolt would sit like right here on the mag after, and so you couldn't use the bolt release and have it closed. You had to actually either use the T-charge, the rear charging handle, or you had to use the side charger. And I just found that it added a lot of time. And sometimes with 90 seconds isn't a long time, and so when you're adding that additional movement and everything, it kind of defeats the benefits there of having the side charger. And so I like the side charger if you have a malfunction, to clear the malfunction. But it was just because I have like my bubble level, my send it level, my crush it timer is all on the left side, so it would just cause me to have more. It just caused some dysfunction in reaching your hand in there and pulling that back and getting everything cleared. So, I just wanted to give you a video on why I think the Savage Msr10 is really good, but I'm not sure it's quite there for shooting PRS. But if you're just looking for something that you're going to be shooting in non-competition, to be honest with you, I wouldn't hesitate to buy it. I think it's a great rifle in that it's very accurate in its factory configuration. There's not a lot of upgrades you can do to it, but I don't really feel like you need them, to be honest with you. So I did go all crazy on it, and you can see some of my first videos where I took a brand new rifle and I tore it all down and added a bunch of stuff to it. But since then I have bought JP Enterprises LRI 20 chassis, semi-auto chassis, so it's just basically the receivers and the handguard, and that will have a JP Enterprises lightweight bolt carrier and all that fun stuff in it too. But because this wouldn't close and wouldn't hold open on PMags and stuff like that, just from a competition standpoint, I don't think it's quite there for that. But for all the other aspects, great shooting gun. I didn't have any malfunctions with it. The only time it ever had a malfunction was my fault. I actually was holding the gun right here, and I put my thumb over the ejection port. So I don't care what gun you have, you're going to cause yourself some problems there. But so that was the only time it ever jammed on me the whole time. So it shot really good. It did, like when I first got it, it would be a little bit slow on closing, but it wore in just fine. And I think that was just kind of like the feed ramps, kind of maybe had a little burr on it or something that wore down. I'm not sure. I did notice little brass shavings in there, but it ran good. So really pretty smooth shooting gun overall. So I really like it. But I just wanted a couple people asked me about doing a follow-up on how did it group and stuff like that. It grouped really great. You take any rifle and you can shoot a 3-shot group that's really small. You shoot a 5-shot group, it's probably going to be a little bit bigger. If you shoot 20 shots, you'll really see the accuracy of your rifle. And so I feel like if you're holding 20 shots within an inch, you got a great shooting rifle. Probably, if you're shooting 5-shot groups, it's probably going to be around a 1/2-inch gun most likely. So, but I like to do strings of fire just to see how things are going to work out. And so From an accuracy standpoint, I think the rifle was great. For a production AR-10, it's hard to beat. So from the accuracy standpoint, I got no dispersion, so obviously the handguard and stuff right here, there was no flex in that. That must be very sturdy. It's pretty thick in there, so you're not getting barrel contact. And when I put that proof research in there, it was really a game changer. The gun became very, very accurate, and there was a lot of bolt guns that couldn't keep up with it from an accuracy standpoint that I seen at this shoot that I took it to. So, but it just didn't end up working out the way I was hoping to. But it was a really fun project, and I wouldn't, like I said, hesitate to buy it for just shooting around. If you're just taking it to the range, but from a PRS standpoint, probably a no-go. But this is a sample of one, so take it for what it is. Thanks, guys, and we'll talk to you later.